Having those tough conversations is still something that many of us, me included, struggle with. Not struggle in the sense that you can't do it, but there's so many reasons why we find it more difficult. Some of those reasons include not wanting to damage the relationship, not wanting to devastate the individual that we're talking to. We're concerned about their continued motivation and inspiration. We're concerned about the impact on the wider team and achieving our objectives and our goals as we set out in our businesses and the projects that we're working on. So I know for me, it is still it is still difficult. I still feel within myself that stress, those butterflies, those sorts of things. And every single time I have to have a tough conversation, a difficult conversation, I think about what the outcome is likely to be. So I thought that I would share with you today these my experience. Some of the most difficult conversations that I've had to have been around when someone is not performing to the level or the standard or the quality in terms of what they're producing that you would expect, that your team expects, that the organization expects, but also that you see in terms of the potential in the individual, and also that you know that they want to reach. One of the biggest tough conversations that I've had is when I've had to talk to someone about their cleanliness in the workplace. And I've had a few of those over many, many years. One that I recall, I don't think I'll ever forget this one, was an individual who had issues with cleanliness in the workplace for many, many years. And nobody within that team, whether they were a colleague, a team member, a leader or manager of that person, had taken the time to talk to the individual and try to work with them. Now, at the time, I was not the manager of that team, but the cleanliness was so affecting the rest of the team in the working environment that no one wanted to sit next to this person, no one wanted to work with this individual. And I felt sorry for that individual because this had been going on for years. And people would talk about it behind the individual's back, they would complain, but nobody would have that conversation. So I took it on myself to have that conversation, knowing that, or putting myself in that person's shoes, was something that I felt that I needed to do in order to try to understand what might be going on in their lives and to open myself up to the capacity to hear and understand what their response was going to be. So it was difficult. Created or had the conversation, invited the individual to have a chat with me in a safe environment where nobody would overhear our conversation. And I approached it from the perspective of a colleague, but also I wanted to find out more about them, their life, what was going on with them, to get some context, I guess, for where they were coming from and what was happening in their lives. And I found out that they were living on their own. They had bereavements, they'd had difficulty mentally and emotionally. And from that, I was able to introduce the idea that the impact of those things was having a knock-on effect in their cleanliness and the impact that was having in the people around them. This wasn't something that was sorted just like that, but we began to provide support And in a lot of cases, it was just being a critical friend, but very supportive as much as you could. I wasn't the leader of that group. I wasn't the leader of that team. I wasn't this individual's manager. But what I tried to do was to become a good friend. And in doing that, I learned a lot of leadership techniques, skills, and abilities, and we were able to support that person because I then went to the manager and explained, shared confidentially what I'd found out, and help to put some support in place. So sometimes we think that only as a leader we can take the responsibility to do those things, but that's not the case. As a leader, we should, that it is our place to deal with those things, but sometimes we don't know how. So I would say, obviously, make sure that you create an environment where people feel able to share what's going on in their lives and to ask for the support that they need. Prepare yourself with intention, with the intention to focus on a positive outcome, also with the intention to deal with any negative response that you might get, and to provide some support and some honesty. We can give honesty in a caring way. That would be the first step. But if we have to put our foot down and to say, this is the impact that is happening as a result of either, in this situation, it was cleanliness, or the lack of quality standard of the work produced, the impact on other people, but also the intention to find out how can we help and support. Lead with empathy. That's the next one. Be clear and specific about what it is that we are wanting to deal with, address, and to support with in the particular situation that we're talking about, and listen as much as you speak. Create an environment that enables the individual to feedback, to create or let you know about the context that they're dealing with, and to support them in that way. And then agree, collaborate on developing steps for moving forward, where they could be helped and supported, what you will do, what you expect them to do, and how you're going to support them in doing that, and make sure that you agree opportunities, times to follow up and provide support. So dealing with difficult conversations I don't know if it will ever be an easy thing to do, but it is certainly one that we can do. It is certainly one that I do a lot in my environment, in my work. Sometimes I'm the one that goes into organizations to take on that role so that situations can be sorted out. But also I support leaders and managers to learn the skills, the know-how to deal with a difficult situation, how to have those difficult conversations, and how to move yourself, the individual, and the team forward. I hope that helps. If you would like some help and support in preparation for having a difficult conversation, then by all means reach out. I'd love to help and support. Thank you.